On a recent trip to Canada, I stopped in at my favorite little art store and happened to come across these paints. These are Stoneground Watercolor Paints. They are professional quality paints and are handmade in Canada. They make them in small batches in a traditional way, and they use gum arabic and honey as their binder, which I find when you add just a little bit of water, they completely melt with your paintbrush and are so easy to put onto paper. They remind me of M. Graham watercolor paints. They have a very high pigment to binder ratio, so they are very saturated. They provide a lot of information about all of their watercolors, and if you want to know the transparency or the granulation, whether it's staining, what is the pigment number in it, if it's toxic, and if it's light fast, you can find that on their website. For example, with the 6 colors that I've chosen here, Hansa Yellow Lt is pigment PY3, Hansa Yellow is PY74, Quinacridone Red is PV19, Phthalo Green Blue shade is PG7, Ultramarine Blue is PB29, and Burnt Sienna Crimson is PBR7. I really started to notice at this point, especially with the Quinacridone Red, that the pigment ratio was quite high. I was trying to keep my sample within the circle that I had drawn, but that was too limiting, and as you can see, there's a lot of pigment in there, so I wasn't able to get an even wash. I would have had to gone quite far out of the circle for that to happen. I made the same mistake moving forward with the other paints as well, so you'll see me going outside of the line. This watercolor paint really requires quite a bit of water when you work with it in mass tone to get an even wash. This isn't a negative for me. If anything, it's real positive. It means that for me, when using watercolor on a regular basis, not having to use a lot of it to still achieve the same intensity of color in my watercolor paintings, I don't have to use as much paint. So over time, economically, that is a big plus for me. One thing that might be of important note to some artists is that this company doesn't present these paints in anything other than a half pan. So if you require tube paints, it might be a little disappointing to you. However, I really can't stress enough how easy these paints are to re-wet. It almost feels like you are working with fresh paints out of a tube. This is one of the reasons why I think I really appreciate these paints. They're so much like M. Graham that way, and M. Graham is my most favorite of all watercolors. However, M. Graham, from what I understand, does not travel well for a lot of people. If you take them into a humid environment, they will melt and make a mess in your travel kit, and I haven't found that to be true because I live in a dry environment, so it's never been an issue for me. But these paints are really solid. I don't think you would have the same issue with them. And if you are a fan of M. Graham and want to travel but live in a humid area, I highly, highly recommend trying out these paints. I think they might be the solution you're looking for. Chose these 6 colors in the hopes that I can do some great mixes for them in my little portable palette micro that you see there, and that way I can take them with me and do some on plein air sketches. And before I do that though, I wanted to try out the mixability here. Now this sketchbook that I'm using, the paper is not very heavy. It is a cotton blend paper, so it's pretty good with watercolor, but it's not perfect. However, this will give me an idea of the mixability of the colors and what colors I can achieve with it. The flow property on this paint is interesting. It doesn't really move very quickly. It does move though. It covers a large area but slowly. So if you're looking for a watercolor paint that you have a lot of control with, this is a really great one for that. They remind me of the way that Daniel Smith watercolor paints flow. As an outdoor artist, I paint a lot of different shades of green, and I thought I'd mix the ultramarine blue here with the two yellows to see what kind of greens we get. But as you can see, they're pretty muted. They're almost making a neutral color with a slight green color to it. And I figured that might be the case. So that's why I added the Phthalo green blue shade to my palette. So I'm hoping we're going to see a variety of greens with that. The purples I can achieve here are stunning. That's just simply the Quinacridone Red along with the Ultramarine Blue. Adding the burnt sienna crimson here to the yellow just to see what we get to happen with the mixing. Adding a little bit more Quinacridone Red because I think those two colors are something that I'm going to blend more often. And I'm washing out some water here so I can mix a little bit of Hansa Yellow with Phthalo Green Blue shade, just to see what kind of greens we can achieve here. And just that little bit of mixing in there, you can see that vivid green, that's like a spring green to apple green, would be great for grasses, highlights on bushes. And since I'm not seeing the mixes moving very quickly, I'm spraying it down with clear water here just to try and encourage the pigment to mix with each other on the page. It is a very slow moving paint. Then I'm going to add some table salt just to see how it reacts with the pigment. I think that it's a technique that I've been using a lot more lately, so I'm curious to see how that'll work. And I just noticed that I didn't really mix a great orange in here. The yellow and the quinacridone sort of interacted a little bit, but not much. So I'm going to use Hansa Yellow Lt and Quinacridone Red and see what we can come up with. The orange that turned out from that mix is just stunning. It reminds me of transparent orange from Misc, and that's definitely one of my favorite colors. And here we see all of the colors now dry. Not a huge color shift. They are pretty much as intense dry as they were wet, which is really wonderful. And now it's time to try them out in the real world. So I went on site and I took a sketch of a local park here, and I really wanted to see if I could mix a variety of greens to capture all of the different greens that we see out in nature, and I think I've achieved it just with those 6 colors. And then this was a little house that I painted for a variety of colors to try out. That door, I again used too much pigment in not enough water. I really struggled with the water brush that I have. In the future, I think I will just take cups of water with me. And here's a painting that I just completed. The flowers, the stems, the leaves are all Stoneground paints. The background is Misc granulating colors. And I could get the colors that I really wanted very easily with Stoneground. I highly recommend these watercolor paints, especially if you like M. Graham. Thanks for watching, and I hope I'll see you in the next video.